Now this area with all the rocks is up the calcite end of Lake Jindabyne, and it's actually the old Jindabyne River. It's been flooded by the lake. Not much water flows down the Jindabyne River now, but it is one of the best places in Jindabyne to actually lure cast from a boat. We're just drifting back. The lake finishes only about 500 metres back up there, and we're just drifting back down with the wind, trying to pick up a brown trout in the gorge here. The best method I know is to use a CD5 Rapala and cast to the opposite bank. Every now and again you'll get a good brown. Don't get lots up here, but things have been a bit slow down in the lake, so we thought we'd come up here to see if we can get a fish or two. Pretty simple, straight retrieve. Oh, there's a hit, yes! This is most likely a brown trout up here. We're at the top end of Jindabyne, up the Jindabyne arm. Oh, it's a medium-sized brownie, not a big one. Just been casting around CD5 Rapalas to the rock walls, hoping for a big one actually. This guy's not too bad. Maybe about a pound in the old scale. Oops. He's not a big, it's not the biggest brown trout in the world. He's nicely coloured. And he's taken a little CD5 rainbow trout Rapala pattern. Not a huge fish. Pretty typical for the fish you can get up here. We've been having a lot of trouble trying to catch a trout on the troll, although we expect to get a few on live mud eyes this afternoon. So we've come up to the upper end of the lake. We went all the way up the top end here to the Jindabyne arm. Now no water flows down the Jindabyne River anymore since they constructed the Snow Mountain scheme, but it's always a good option. It's a great place to cast lures and drift down in the boat. There's actually a little bit of a riparian flow down the Jindabyne River at the moment into Jindabyne, so yeah, we were hoping we might get a few fish, and we got one already, just casting a Rapala CD5. Great little trout. Well, there's nothing better than fishing a remote alpine lake. We're on Jindabyne Dam, just doing a bit of lure casting for the boat. Hoping to get a maybe a nice brown trout or even a rainbow. Both browns and rainbows are present in Jindabyne Dam. We're just up top end of it where the Jindabyne River flows in, just drifting down a wind lane, quite an obvious wind lane here too. Lots of food on the surface. We might pick up a trout just lure casting these little CD5 Rapalas underneath the wind lane. And if not, we'll just move around to where the river flows in and see if we can't cast up a trout or two there. Fishing a CD5 or a little minnow is pretty easy for trout. These are a countdown. I've doctored this one up a bit. It's a brown trout pattern with some spotted dog hand-painted spots on it. I think the closer to the bank you fish, the better. Count it down. 10 seconds to sink. Probably about enough. And then just a medium retrieve back. I find that works just about as good as anything. Pretty easy too. 3 kilo or 6 pound line, nothing heavier. about 0.18 millimetre diameter. You can see in the background now, while we've come here, you can see the river flowing into the lake. It's quite high up here. We're at least 1,200 metres up. One of our highest trout lakes in Australia. The Jindabyne River flows down through a big gorge, pumps out into the top of the dam here. So obviously another angler's parked his boat there, pulled his boat up on the bank. He may be fishing the bank or walking up the river. Pretty arduous sort of a trek to walk up the Jindabyne River from here. You really need to go at least 2 or 3 k's up before you can get some reasonable pools to fish in. It's just falling down through big rocks all the way. Best spot to fish is this pool as it empties into the lake. Could be quite exciting. Don't get big fish, maybe 1 kilo, it's the biggest. Could get an odd larger fish. There's a hit, yes. Oh! Let's get this. Well, he took that right up in the head where the river flows in. Let's grab a bit of a net here. There's a nice fish. Fit as anything too in these highland lakes. Where are we? That's just what we wanted. He took the rapala as well. There we go. Leaves and all. Well, that's a nice little rainbow. We'll get this lure out of him and get him back in the water. And he just took that on a straight crank. Nice and easy. We'll head back up there. Yes. Keep. Oh, look at that one. Oh. Well, there you go. Hey. Well, there you go. Now, this one, not quite as colourful as the last. I'd say this is probably a stocked fish. Oops, just watch out for the hand there. Just throwing the lure. Hey, nice little rainbow. Again on a rapala. Just in that white water as the river flows down into the lake. So there you have it. We'll just let this guy go. I'll just let him. He's away. This is a better fish, brown. It's fighting down a bit deeper. I'd say it's definitely a brown trout. Whoa. Just picked him up on the edge of the timber. There we go. He's pretty typical brown trout for Jindabyne. Look at that, he's just slashed at the lure and he's just taken it underneath the jaw and he's just hooked up in the fin as well. These fish are about a pound probably, a little bit slabby, but nice sort of a fish. We'll just get this rapala out of him. Just amazing, just a straight retrieve on the rapala. Works so well on trout. It's nice and simple. There we go, little G-high brown. Not a bad little fish. We'll just get this hook out and just let this guy go.